like you're driving along and the GPS says recalculating route you, I believe you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're here. You're taking your afternoon to come be here and network and learn and do more because you want to do hard things. You're wired like this. We're the kids on the playground. Who remembers these? And we held on tight. We weren't the kids who stood on the side. We jumped on. And then what happens when it slowed down? You jump back on again, didn't you? You're wired like this. You're a high achiever. You get at it. You work. You do the work. And then you know what happens? You achieve your goal. You made the number you were going to make for yourself, and you hit that target. And then you know what you do? You set a new goal. And you go around again, dogs. And we don't want to be flatline. That's no life. We jumped on the merry-go-round. We're not the flatline people. Let's take it out of our work and think of our lives right now. There are big thises in our lives that take our life in whole new directions. And then there's the little thises. This is just the stuff that comes up every day. These are things that come up in our lives that we just have to manage and get to the other side of. But they don't change the trajectory of our lives. They just take time and energy and mental space. What's the key to managing the stress and moving forward when things do not go as planned? Thinking about how our brains and the dopamine and the cortisol, like how are our brains working? But wait, if it's how we're thinking, then that's actually psychology. That's a little different. So now we got to go down that rabbit hole. Now, what do other elite athletes do? What do other corporate executives do? What do other people who've gone through big traumas do? How are people coping? Is there a commonality between these? Happens. When something big happens, you wake up thinking about it, you go to bed thinking about it. It's all you can think about when you're in the middle of something. You know, it's just overwhelming. Remember summertime when you were 10? Like 10 years old? Summertime when you're 10. You got it? Kind of in your head? Okay, now think about summertime when you're 40. All the moms now are going, what summer? A year when you're 10 years old is 1/10 of your whole life. If it's pie, you get a 10th. When you're 40, it's 1/40th. It's a little sliver. It's 1/40th of your whole life. Same 365 days. Every day we live is a little bit smaller part of a whole. This is when I blew out my knee in college. I can see, at the ripe old age of 19, let's do some math. That was 75% of what I knew of my life at that point, of my life experience. It was 75% of my life experience had been in a gym. It was gymnastics. If I play it forward, when I was 50 and my kids all left for college, it was only 28% of my life was gymnastics. And if I play it forward and I live to be 100, which I need to drink less wine and take better care of myself, do this with me. And you don't have to shut your eyes if you don't want to. If it creeps you out, you don't have to shut your eyes. But I think it helps. And I'm going to shut mine just because I don't want to be creepy staring at people with their eyes shut. Picture the book of your life. If it was sitting on a table, think of your kitchen table, and there's a book of your life sitting on the table in front of you. Maybe it's a children's book with beautiful illustrations. What does the book of your life look like? Now, open that book to today. All the pages ahead are blank. So is this glass half full or half empty? It is a 6-ounce glass with 3 ounces of water. It just is. We do the self-sabotage piece. So we overgeneralize. This always happens to me. And we catastrophize. This is never going to work. This is ruined. Or we jump to conclusions. They haven't texted me back in a half an hour, and so they must not be taking this deal. There's a before and after. So something happens. If any good therapist will tell you this, if you're worried about what happened up to this point and your head's going, I wish this hadn't happened, I wish I'd done things differently, the time you spend in the before, that's where depression lives. You spend all your time in, oh my gosh, what if this happens next? And that's where anxiety lives. Depression lives in the before, anxiety lives in the after. That's where the magic can happen. And it's hard to do. I'm not saying this is easy stuff, but when something happens, to be in this space where you can go, wait, what am I actually dealing with right now? Someone has walked this maze before. Someone is looking at that maze going, oh, I already hit that dead end 5 times. Woo, there they go. They're about to hit it again. Going it alone is never the best idea. I'm going to prove this to you. You ready? Everybody look up at the screen at the same time. We're all going to see the same image at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Because you're the main character in your story, but you're not the main character in everybody else's story. And I tell you this too. How many of you have children? You are not the main character in your children's story. I know, right? Shocker! You are a character in their story. How are you showing up in their stories? With your spouse? With your friends? How would they describe you? What character do you play in their stories? Are you the good guy and the supporter? Are you the villain? And the lion goes away and she hides in the grass. She's hiding in the grass and her heart rate's coming down. And her adrenaline's starting to wear off a little. And I survived the zebra. Whew, got by another one. Survived another day. Yay me. Well, I'm fast. And then she's like, I'm going to sit here while I'm taking a break. I'm going to pull out my cell phone and see what the rest of the animal kingdom's doing. And she pulls out her cell phone and she sees the flamingo. And the flamingo's like, I'm on the beach and I'm pink. I'm eating shrimp. And she's like, damn, I'm so sick of these stripes. I wish I was pink. In the moment that she survived and was like so proud of herself for a minute, then she went into, oh, yeah, I'm not very great. Like, I don't even like who I am. I want to be that thing. You're creating your own story. Thoughts in your head come out of your mouth. They create your story. And there's a ripple effect for the people around you. And that becomes your story. Is take this, shrink it down, put it on that timeline, isolate it, circle it. Who's in there with you? Name it something. Or some people are visual learners this way. Is there a piece of it that you're missing? Because you have to have all 4 pieces to have big success. I challenge you as you leave here today. You're already wired for it. You already jumped on the merry-go-round. You're already doing the hard thing. You can choose to be the hero as you go forward and figure out what's next in all the book of your life. You can be the hero for the people around you, but more importantly, you can be the hero for yourself. There's nothing that's going to come up that you cannot get through. You're so much stronger than you already know. You're right where you're supposed to be. You're doing a tough job, and you chose to do this. You did the work to get here. You're already in it, and you're doing it. Do it well.